Hi, it's Janine Manuel. And you can see behind me it is snowing, so it is a beautiful first day of spring in North Carolina. I am going to be talking about appropriate questioning behaviors from Teaching Strategies, a guide to effective instruction. Um, this is kind of like my thing. I try to stay positive in the classroom environment. I try not to degrade or humiliate the kids, and so I think that this is a good topic. Appropriate questioning behaviors. So, what are the one of the first appropriate questioning behaviors is using questioning positivity. Um, the reason that we do that is we want the kids to enjoy learning. Otherwise, they're not going to get anything out of it. It's never to be used punitively. Questioning should be a way for us to gauge what they know and how much they've grown, not to put anyone down. So it needs to be upbeat and encouraging. And I like the smiley faces, and I'm going to make myself come over here a little bit. I like the smiley faces because it makes me happy to see them. Second thing is framing questions and using wait times. So we apply the APC method: ask, pause, and then call on. And then usually there's a second pause after the student answers. And what that does is it gives the students time to add more to what they've already said, or for other students to add on for them. So it's a really good technique to use. Usually people don't like silence, and so they like to fill the silence. So they will start to um, either say more or ask more. Um, Another part of that would be to ask clear, succinct questions. So you want to make sure you ask questions that are to the point and that they understand. And then the second pause, like I said, after the student answers, is to elicit more response. The third thing is to use positive prompting techniques. So if you don't quite get all of the answer that you want, you just have a partially correct answer, you can do several things. You can rephrase a question, or you can elicit additional responses by asking follow-up questions to that statement. And I'm sorry, I have a sinus infection, so if I cough, that's what it is. And always value partially correct responses. Never put them down for only having part of the answer. The fact that they have part of the answer is a good thing. It means that they were listening. They may not have gotten the full um, of what they learned out, but they are listening. And then lastly is handling incorrect responses. So one thing to avoid would be verbal or even nonverbal cues that you don't like what they said. Um, and I'll put it to you this way: keep a poker face and always make sure you have a neutral or positive response. So if you say no, no, that's not what I wanted, or just like do something like make those sounds like they did something wrong. It's not a good thing. It's not going to encourage them. And what they're going to do is they're going to close off. They're actually going to, the next time you ask a question, nobody's going to want to answer, especially if they know you're going to be negative. So we always try to avoid those negative verbal and nonverbal cues. Facial expressions say it all. And then, of course, reward partially correct responses. Now, what I've done in this last slide is I'm going to show you a little practice session that I had with my son. So he's been doing a project at school, and I want him to practice because he's going to have to do a living museum and give responses to the living museum. So I'll let you see it. I want you to see what positivity looks like. And then at the end, I have a little bit of negativity, and you'll see I try to prepare him for that.
Hi guys, this is Janine Manuel, and this is my handsome, lovely assistant, Cole Manuel. He did a project on Theodore Roosevelt for their classroom, and they're doing a living museum. So they actually have to talk about the person that they studied. So I'm going to ask Cole a few questions, and I wanted to show you this so that you can see what positive questioning is like. So I'm going to ask you a question. So who did you do your living museum on? Who did you do your research on?
Theodore Roosevelt.
And what is his nickname?
Teddy.
So what can you tell me about Theodore Roosevelt? And you can just relax, just...
He was the 26th president of the United States. He took place after McKinley died.
Okay. Do you know anything about his background, like how he was raised, his family life?
He was born very wealthy with poor eyesight.
Okay, that's very good. So he eventually became a president. So he was born into a wealthy family, but he was kind of what we would call the runt of the litter. So, he had bad health and poor vision. How do you think that made him feel?
Not the best.
Not the best. So what did he aspire to be?
A president.
A president. Well, he aspired to be in politics because he wanted to help other people, probably because of his background. So what are the things that you learn about Theodore Roosevelt?
Well, I know something about his nickname. This is how he got his nickname. You know what? You want to know why?
Yes.
Because he refused to shoot a bear cub.
Okay. So they named what after him? The teddy bear. Yes, the teddy bear. So it was a very interesting research project, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Did you already know something about Theodore Roosevelt before you picked him?
Yes.
What did you know about him?
That he was the 26th president.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good one. That's very good. Thank you, Cole, for teaching us something about Theodore Roosevelt. Now let's just switch focus. So, so I'm going to do this a little bit different. That's a little less positive. So don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at Mommy when she does this. But who was Theodore Roosevelt? Come on now. Who was Theodore Roosevelt?
The 26th president. 26th president?
Okay, and?
And?
Alright, I'm going to stop right there. Now, I was just doing that as a demonstration because that's something that you don't want to do. You don't want to pressure the kids. You don't want to force them into an answer. And you definitely don't want to badger them. You want to be kind, give them time to answer on their own, and not pressure them. Because as you can see, like I asked him the same questions and he shut down. So anyway, I thank you, Cole, for being a very good assistant, and you're going to do so good on your presentation.
Thank you.
Okay, so you see that positivity can be a good thing. He gave me a lot of great answers, and then once I started to be more negative, pressuring, and digging for answers, then he shut down. So that's what you don't want to do with your students. So always remember to stay positive. Watch out for those verbal and nonverbal cues and be prepared. You should do just fine. When the kids love you, they will begin to open up, they'll learn more, and they will enjoy learning. Thank you as always. Goodbye.